Okay. Alright, how's everybody going? How's everybody going today? How's everybody doing? Changing faces. Well, this is what I'm doing today. I am kind of upset with Indiegogo right now. Not knocking on Indiegogo. It's a nice platform, but I'm having a problem with fixing certain things with that platform, that crowdfunding platform. So I had to switch platforms over to Kickstarter. So everything is going to be going over Kickstarter, and I put the issues that I was having with Indiegogo, I'm not having with Kickstarter. So I said I just roll with Kickstarter. Why not? That's for the crowdfunding campaign of No Words at All. And if you listen to the first 4 episodes, this is my 5th episode. This is my live episode. I'm live and direct right now at 10:41 a.m. Central Time. In about an hour and a half, roughly an hour and a half, I'll be on an interview with American Riddle. American Riddle is a podcast as well, and he interviews a lot of up and coming and prominent people that's doing good things. I listened to a few of his shows, and he's a straightforward, it's a good show. I like his show, so it's a pleasure to be on there. And thank you for my manager for making that happen. So, and I believe we'll be talking about my career, talk about When the Bell Rings, and we'll be talking about just things I have moving forward. And I know he's going to have a lot of questions because of When the Bell Rings. When the Bell Rings is a very compelling documentary. And you check it out. If you hadn't seen or heard of When the Bell Rings, you should go ahead and go online right now. Click on When the Bell Rings Vimeo on demand. That's Vimeo, Vimeo, on demand. And you can get it right there. Or you can go to MetaWorldPeace.com. You can get it there. You can go to iTunes and get it there. Or Amazon.com and you get it there. Now, I was told that we may be on Netflix this summer. I surely hope so. That would be great. And then something about overseas too, and that'd be cool too. So we have an international following of When the Bell Rings, because it has a nice little small cult following here in the United States, and it's a good thing. I want to take that momentum and that energy and utilize that with my filmmaking career. Because I am an actor and I am a screenwriter and a director, and this will be my directorial debut when I direct No Words at All here in New Orleans in October. I have a lot of haters. No, I ain't gonna say a lot of haters. I have a few people say, "Oh, you're not gonna meet your campaign goal, and these and that. It's just too much. You're not gonna do it. Like, why are you putting shade on me? I mean, why you just don't encourage happiness instead of throwing doubt?" My campaign is $250,000. Yes, it is. People say, "Oh, why you just don't go for 25,000? Be smart. These and that, blah blah blah." I mean, well, you gotta think about it. It's a period piece. I'm shooting the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. I'm shooting the Katrina bit. I'm shooting a lot of racial stuff that happened in the 60s and 70s. So basically, it's the story is following these siblings. So you got them when they was young and then getting older, and they seeking justice for their murder of their father. So in this journey, it's a very compelling journey that these siblings go through. And filming everything here in New Orleans is going to be big for me, for the city, for the people, the crew, people, the up and coming actors here in New Orleans. It's going to be a big thing for me and a big thing for them. Although it's a small budget movie, but at the same time, $250,000 to work with pre-production and start some of the production. It would be great. Of course, I'm gonna be looking for investors in the meantime, in between time, to help out with this. And then I have Don Cheadle as on my wish list. So if I get Don Cheadle, that'll be great. Don Cheadle is someone that I really want to be a part of this movie. I want to work with Don Cheadle. He's a great actor. Another one I like to work with is Morgan Freeman, but not for this project. That'll be something in the near future. So, that being said, this is awesome. I do have chat available for this, so let me see. Yeah, I'm still recording. Everything is good. This is awesome. I have sent the request out there for people to chit chat with me here on this platform, which is awesome, So anyway, what's been going on with you all? What's the news? What's been going on? I haven't really been following the news lately. I do listen to Q the News and get my news from her. Q the News, you can go to Blab and go to Q the brand, Q the News, Q the chef, Q the everything. You go there and you get to get some headlines, the top headlines that she chooses, and you can talk about it. It's a good thing. I like her platform and I like what she brings to the table with Q the News. And that's where I get most of my news from, just listening to her. So, which is cool. Anyway, so if nobody's chatting, I'm just going to sit here and keep talking. But like I said, changing faces, meaning I'm changing platforms as well, dealing with a couple of haters or people, naysayers, saying, oh, you're not going to do it, you're not going to raise the money. That just pushed me to move forward, to keep doing it. When you tell me I'm not going to do something, or you ain't going to do this, or you're not going to do that, that just give me fuel to keep pushing forward. Keep doing what I had to do to be successful, because I will be successful and I am going to be successful. That's just what it is. Success is the key to my existence. I mean, I've been successful this long, going through a lot of trials and tribulations, and every time I feel like if I beat an obstacle, I am successful. Beating an obstacle makes me successful. That's what I say. So, finishing this documentary makes me successful. Being in my children's life makes me successful. Am I financially successful? Not yet, but I will be. So, sometimes you have to step back and you got to think about the things in your life, and you have to assess things. Why are you not moving forward? Why things aren't going the way I want it in my life? Why things are not going as planned? Why? Because either you're not doing what you're supposed to do to take it to the next level. You're letting people hold you back. You hanging around a lot of negative energy, or you just building on all the negative stuff that's going on around you. And as you think negative, and you have negative people in your corner. When you have negative people in your corner, that's gonna draw more negative stuff to you. So I'm a big believer in staying focused and moving forward and staying away from all that negativity. If I see anybody come in with that negativity, like the ones that tell me, oh, you're not going to make that $250,000 crowdfund campaign goal, then, I was like, you know what? You're not my friend. I don't need to hear the negativity. What makes you think I'm not going to make that goal? You don't think I have what it takes to make that goal? You don't think I have what it takes to make this movie? This movie it means a lot to me right now to shoot this movie on so many levels, on so many levels. As a man, as a filmmaker, as a father, it's just on so many levels. And plus, this will open the relevance of my relevance in the film business, being my debut, my acting, directorial debut. I had my acting debut already. That movie come out in April, so it says. Same kind of different as me. Starring Jaimin Hansu, Greg Kinnear, and Renee Zellweger. I play a character named Mister in that. Same kind of different as me. IMDb says it comes out April 29th, but I hadn't seen any promotions of it, so I don't know if it's coming out April 29th or not. But it do say April 29th. And I can't wait for it to come out to see, how, what I did and everything, how I did. Can't talk right now, I just got a lot on my mind. Anyway, I'm enjoying this podcast journey, as I said, and when you have to change faces, sometimes you have to take the mad face on, put the good face on, and you got to or if you going through hurt and pain, you have to change that face and put a face on of happiness. Although inside you might be, weeping, but you have to think there's always something bigger. Everything happens for a reason. So if you weeping on the inside for whatever the case may be, think it's not going to happen too long. If you lost a loved one, condolences to you. You know that if you lost a loved one, they are in a better place than what they're in here now. Although we're going to miss, I've lost loved ones. I lost my son last year. I lost my grandma. Lost my grandpa. I lost a bunch of associates. I won't call them friends. I lost a bunch of associates. Over my duration as a teenager to a young adult to an adult. I lost the love of my life back then, due to some heinous activities. But which made me to what I am today. So basically, I'm just here as a vessel to inspire others. I want you, and I encourage you to change your face. Changing faces. Change your face, change your attitude. Wake up, be grateful that you woke up. Whatever that you pray to, whatever deity you pray to, whatever entity that you follow, whatever it is that you are a part of. If you believe in the sun, the wind, the stars, God, Jesus, Jehovah, Muhammad, Methuselah, whoever, Mary, whatever, you be grateful that you are up to see another day where you have breath in your body to move forward. Because you think about it, if you think you have it bad, someone have it worse. I know I've had it bad a lot in my life, but I know there's people that was in worse situations and hadn't come out of it. They either gave up and gave in and crumbled. So the giving up and giving in and caving in and crumbling is not in my forte. It's not in my my strength. It's not in my will. It's not my movement. It's not in my repertoire, period. And it shouldn't be in yours. You should stay focused. And it's people who it's hard to stay focused. Well, if you speak it's hard, then you're right. It is hard because you said it's hard. You're making it hard on yourself. You don't make it hard. Just move forward and do it. If you have to do a few things, not saying to do something against your will, not doing something against your morals, not saying none of that. Don't do that. If it's something against your morals, your 100% super morals, and that you can't do this because of that or your religious beliefs or whatever, don't do it. But if it's something that you feel that you can walk out on faith, like a friend, I listen to my friend Damon Brock. He's a professional boxer. He was talking that he had, and all the stuff he talk about, I listening to him. He's a boxer. I wish I was in his shoes. He's doing things that I wanted to do in this comeback, this journey in boxing. But he said something about jumping, leaping out on faith that rocked my mind. I was like, man, this dude here is speaking some real stuff. You know what I mean? And meaning you really do got to walk walk out on faith. And if you don't believe in faith or in a deity or whatever the case may be, or you're just spiritualist or you're universalist, that's awesome. But have the step forward, even in the blind, and have the faith to know that you're going to reach your goal. I've been walking out here. If it wasn't for my girlfriend, I'd probably be homeless, dead, or in prison. You know, I say that my woman has been a solid backbone in my life, my career, my growth, my development, my reaching this pinnacle of where I'm at right now, which is on the verge of this breakthrough. I'm on the edge of poverty, sitting there on the edge of poverty, on the edge of a breakthrough, but on the edge of poverty. Like I'm on a balancing beam, and I can tip either one way. I could tip more deep into poverty, or I can tip into success. And I'm leaning into success. And taking that momentum and build me into success. You gotta think about it. You're on that plank, and you can fall one way into poverty, success. You know, some people are complacent, or some people are just lax or content at what their life is, their lifestyle. They want to wake up every day, work a 9-to-5 job, come home, or they bust their ass, work hard. Oh, I said this is explicit. I said one cuss word, ass. Anyway, some people bust their ass, working hard. Like my best friend, he's driving trucks. I know he don't like doing that shit, but he's doing it. He's driving trucks. I said my second cuss word. I said shit. Wow. Anyway, I do cuss from time to time, so excuse me for that. But I did put the one on there because I knew some cussing was going to come out sooner or later. But anyway, I know my best friend don't want to drive trucks, but he had to do it because it's a living to keep that nice house he lives in, to take care of his wife and his kids. You know what I mean? So driving trucks as opposed to doing what he really loved to do, you know, I thought about driving trucks. No disrespect to truck drivers. It's just something that I don't think I can do. I'm not going to sit in a truck, in a cab for 12 hours, 8 hours, how many hours driving a damn truck. Just don't see me doing that. I don't see no happiness, no solace in it, no anything. You know, although those people who drive trucks got to do is a job, stuff, it has to be done. You know what I mean? And that's what they do. Some people love it, some people don't. Me, I don't see that fit in my repertoire of me moving forward with my career. I just don't see it. So that's why I didn't want to do truck driving. Me working a fast food restaurant, that's not, you know, people do it. Young people, older people do it. Me, I don't see the solace in that. I don't see any future in that. I'm not going to be a McDonald's manager. I'm not going to be a Burger King's manager or nothing like that. You know, I worked loss prevention. That was the best job I had outside of the entertainment business. Catching shoplifters and internal workers. That was cool at one point. I took passion in that until I dated one of the co-workers, which is my son's mom, and got fired for what they call it, fraternization. You don't supposed to, you know, mingle with co-workers, especially with the position I had in loss prevention. And it happened that way, and that's what happened. So, and as I tried to get back into loss prevention, I lost the love for it because my main passion was for entertainment. So I had to change my face. I had to change my face from the pain I got from not working a job I want to love. And man, doing warehouse work. I was doing that in a hot warehouse, packing up boxes, you know, or doing light fixtures and stuff like that. That's, you know, odd end work just to make ends meet. You know, I was doing odd end work so I wouldn't have to be on the corner selling drugs and stuff like that, you know, being a little thug or whatever. I didn't want to live that lifestyle like I did when I was in my younger days, you know. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm looking at my life and I say, okay, I'm in a nice little small house. I have custody of my son, you know. I'm dabbling in the film business here and there, working here and there. When I had my agent, Ken Dale Carell, which he's not my agent anymore, but shout out to him for all the work that he was giving me, which was rare, but I was getting work. Shout out to my new manager. But, I'm here. I work from time to time. I have a roof over my head. My girl is super supportive. And I'm being a father to a son who's learning me and I'm learning him. But this daddy, being a father is rough. I'm changing faces from being a man, being by myself, learning to live. My girl, we don't live together. She lives in another state, but we see each other maybe 6-7 times a year, if that. She's spiritual. She's a minister, and I am spiritual. Or she's holiness, but I'm spiritual and I'm a Buddhist. And I just stay focused on, positive living and thinking. But just thinking of the situation I'm in now with my son and trying to be a father to him, and my other son trying to be a father to him, and he's doing his little knucklehead stuff. My son here is lazy and trying to teach him how to be a man. Trying to teach both of them how to be a man, cleanliness, hygiene, get your grades up. They think I'm hard on them. Like, really, I'm giving you an opportunity to become a man and show you how to be a man. So how you carry yourself as a teenager. And I know I'm jumping from subject to subject, but I only have like 20 minutes left, and I'm about to jump off in a second because I have to prepare for this interview in 59 minutes. But as I was saying, that teaching my son to be a man, because what you bring in as a teenager you're gonna carry into your adulthood. And I know this because if it wasn't for my mom, although my mom wasn't the best mom in the world, I love her. We had our ups and downs, more downs than ups. I respect my mom and the things she tried to instill in me as a kid, but my mom took a lot from me as well. So I'm learning to be a better parent than them, being a better parent than my mom, being a better parent than my father, who was rarely in my life. So I'm trying to give them, and I'm not trying, I'm giving them the things that I didn't have, but teaching them they still have to be self-sufficient and be independent, and but they take the independent thing too far to be a teenager. Like, my son, he doesn't like taking baths all the time, which is kind of fucked up. And I tell him, boy, that's why we don't have to pay water. You take a bath, you go in the bathroom, you take a bath every day. Not when you feel like taking a bath, but when you smell yourself being musty or shit. That's fucked up. You take a bath, your feet stink because you're wearing the same pair of socks and your shoes all week. You know what I mean? That's why the room smell like a damn pigsty in there. You need to, so wash your shoes, wash your socks. Tell them you gotta change it, wear socks, different socks every week, every day. Not the same sock every day. That's not good hygiene. I'm teaching them. Like, you see, I bathe every day. That should give you a sense. Like, look, you need to do the same thing. Now I understand you can be stressed out, but you a kid in school. What the hell are you stressed out about? Little girl stuff? No. So that's the father thing. I didn't have a father to teach me none of this stuff, any man thing. My mom gave me the female version of a man version of the thing growing up. But I'm doing like, what if I had a man in my life, father in my life, to guide me? My uncle wasn't always there, so I'm giving my son that. Teaching him. Now, teaching him, changing your faces. You got to change your face. You got to change the attitude. You got to change that I know it all attitude. You're just 14 years old. The boy likes to challenge me on everything. He likes to challenge me. My son, he's 14, trying to challenge me on everything. His birthday is coming up in 4 days. And, wow, 4 days. That's interesting. He's about to be 15. My other son, he's going to be 14 this year. So, yeah, I'm dealing with a lot. Parents and my daughter, like I said, I talk with her now every once in a while. We converse on Facebook now and stuff, and I have her number and we talk. And, I'm a granddad, so I want to be a good grandfather to my granddaughter. Kalani. Yeah, that's her name. My granddaughter's name is Kalani. Well, anyway, everybody, this is. I'm glad you listened to me. If you sat and listened to me, it's cool. But I'm just passionate about this whole thing, especially with getting No Words at All done. So when you do me a favor, go to my Facebook, send me a friend request, or tell your friends about this podcast, because I'm gonna have more. I'm gonna speak more on different other subjects and things and such forth. I'm still new to this, and I'm enjoying it because I can just speak and say what's on my mind, say how I feel. And I'm a poet too, so I might utilize this and do some poems on this too. You know what I mean? But I like writing my poems to music, so. And I freestyle when I write, and then if I don't like something, I erase it and do some other things, just normal things like that. But at the same time, thank you for tuning in. Google me, Dino Wells, or you can check all my URLs or most of my URLs at www.itsmyurls.com/Dino Wells. If you want to ask me a question, you can ask me a question at Stars Q&A, and you just look for me, Dino Wells, and just ask. And if you go to itsmyurls.com, Stars Q&A is right there. You can ask me a question there. Twitter at Dino Wells, Dino_Wells on Instagram, Dino_Wells on Snapchat, David Dino Wells Jr. on LinkedIn, David Dino Wells Jr. on IMDb. I'm everywhere. So this right here is my Spreaker. I'm enjoying this. I'm on Blab, The Real Dino Wells. So yeah, Periscope, same thing, The Real Dino Wells. I'm everywhere right now. So I'm just building that momentum. Remember, No Words at All is a movie that's a must-see movie. I'm filming in New Orleans this fall. Crowdfund campaign is starting on the 1st of April on Kickstarter, raising $250,000. I'm going to need your help. Get it out there. I'm going to have some interesting perks for you all as well. So, and if anybody know Don Cheeto, hit him up and say, I need him. I want him in this movie as the main character. Please. Willie Jr. That's his name. The character name. Alright. With that being said, it was a pleasure. I'm enjoying. And here go the outro music. Yeah. Brought to you by Spreaker. I don't have no sponsors. I'm not on that level yet. But I will be. Yeah. I will be on that level soon. And that track that you heard in the beginning and now, I made this. Music Maker Jam, baby.